Wrapping up our last segment of the evening is a very special guest, Dr. Janice Hughes. But first, we want to thank our sponsors. And our sponsor for ChiroThon right now is Blaine Labs. We want to thank them for sponsoring this vignette. Blaine Labs manufactures topical, pain-relieving, and skincare products that are exclusively sold with healthcare professionals. Blaine Labs products are FDA registered, made in the USA. You can visit Blaine Labs booth if you're here live with us at Cal Chiro, or you can go online and find Blaine Labs.
Well, one of the things that I'm the most excited is because anytime that we have an opportunity to be with Dr. Hughes, I am a big fan. And Dr. Hughes is an executive wealth coach. She's a business advisor. She coaches individuals and companies to apply a money-raising principles in their own lives and businesses. Returning to healthcare coaching and consulting, she is a legend in our profession. Janice health practitioners and business owners understand and embrace the business side of healthcare. As an author, Dr. Janice shares her wisdom in both Inspire Wealth as well as the new best-selling Amazon book, Codes of Longevity. I'm really excited because, anytime we get together, and we were just reminiscing that a year ago we did this, and it was so enlightening because every time we get together, you're going to see there's a lot of wisdom here, so be ready.
It's exciting because you brought up her book, and that's really what this is all about. We want to thank you first, Dr. Hughes, for joining us on a fabulous Friday. What else would we want to do with our time, right? Well, in this episode, you're going to learn a lot, and I want to thank Dr. Hughes because it's really about now working towards longevity with vitality. And so I want to first start off with the question, can you share with our audience, how do you define longevity?
Well, I think the first thing is, before I define it, that I ask people to define it for themselves, because there's a lot of construed definitions for it. And because of, I love to blend my healthcare background as a chiropractor with my money, with the money side of things. And I really believe that longevity is being able to do all the things you love for as long as you love to do them with the people that you love, and that you have the wealth to do it. So it kind of blends all facets of our life, but when I say it's really misconstrued is that a lot of you have been told that, it's about just your years and about not having pains or not having aches. And, I just completely disagree with that. And so from a chiropractic perspective, I like to say, how do we just keep doing everything we want, with no limitations? And some people think I'm crazy for that, but I really like that definition. And then it's vitality. And like I said, it's doing things you love. So now that doesn't mean that everybody has to go out and jog or that everybody has to do a certain kind of fitness, but the ability to be able to do that. And so if you watch some of those shows, about the blue zones on Netflix as an example, and for some people in Japan, in Okinawa, it's that they garden, that they do outdoor things, and they're doing it with their family, and they have multi-generations that live together, and some of them are in better shape than you or I. And so for me, it's really important that we start to think about that.
100%.
It's interesting because this is such an important topic right now, and people are talking about it, but I love the way that you defined it. I love the way that you combined it, because I think they do go hand in hand. I think our health and our wealth should be, a partnership,
right,
that you keep as a priority. But when you think about many clients that you've helped, and now that you're going back to the chiropractic profession, not only as a doctor, but helping us be able to manage our wealth better, what do you think is one of the most overlooked things that people are not thinking about when it comes to their longevity or perhaps even wealth freedom that you're trying to teach us?
Well, I think it's the principles of by the time you're ready to think about it, it's too late. So what have we been doing from a health, from a fitness perspective, from a joint movement perspective? This is why chiropractors play such a key role in longevity. The proprioceptors, how the joints move, how that message goes to your brain. I think one of the really key things, and everybody listening, someone with dementia, someone with some brain challenges, so it's basically now it's called type 3 diabetes, which is Alzheimer's and dementias. It's a very personal thing for me. I have 2 parents, both dealing with different brain issues. And, so number one, it's the emotions of it, but it's based on a lot of years of things that built up to that. My dad was borderline diabetic, from some of his nutrition, and so these things are really, really critical. What are you doing now? What are we doing now? What are we eating? How are we moving? It's kind of that thing, everybody says this to us as chiropractors, oh, well, when I have time, then I'll do that. When I have time, when I'm retired, that's when I'll play golf. Or when I'm retired, that's when I'll walk more. Well, if we're not doing it now, then by the time you're retired, chances are you're not going to be physically able to do that. So I think it's really, you're asking me, like, it's kind of too late by the time that most people in our culture are thinking about it. So I just encourage everybody listening, what are you doing now? How can you work with, say, a chiropractor? This is where chiropractors fit in. The ability for us, chiropractors actually work on your brain, your nervous system, your neurology, and then again, through an adjustment, we're allowing joint movement and mobility. And that's literally like changing the way your brain functions. It's changing your brain. And so, again, you can tell I can go on and on about it.
Yes, we need to go on and on. Our audience on a Friday night needs to know.
They're probably with their popcorn.
Really? Okay,
I love this.
Let's back it up just a second. So, as a wealth coach, which is beautiful, it leads right into what we're talking about today. Wealth is about investments. You cannot have your health without wealth. Okay, I want to say that again because this is particularly important. Having someone who has the trifecta approach. You have wealth, wisdom, you have your health, and now you're showcasing your chiropractic skills. That's a trifecta, and I want to dive into it because as we start to look at our health, it's like our brain is our bank account.
Yeah. Right.
And I want you to share a little bit more because you talked about how chiropractic impacts the brain, and that may be an epiphany for many of you that chiropractors work on the nervous system. Yeah. I want you to dive in for our listeners who may not understand or may never have had a chiropractic adjustment.
Right.
We're global. There's people watching us from all around the world. You have the skill set. Now is the chance for us to really get deep into what is it that chiropractors do and how does it invest in their piggy bank?
Right. So the simple way to think about it is ask yourself what runs your body. So, a lot of people will answer, well, my heart beats, my lungs breathe, but none of that works without your brain. And so brain sends information down through your spine and out through all your nerves. So everything in your life, everything you think, do, act, what you smell, what you taste, everything literally is run by your nervous system. So the way I like to explain chiropractic is some of you, and if you see a chiropractor, you may think about, a bone doctor for my joints or for my spine. Well, yes, but it's that the spine is what's encasing and protecting your brain. So even for me to move my arm, that's an impulse that comes from my brain to my muscle. And then literally there has to be a feedback mechanism. So if that neurological piece is not firing, then what's going to happen is, and you ask people, well, what will happen? And people say, well, it won't work. So for even a simple muscle movement like that, so everything neurologically, everything we do, your digestion, your gut, your chemistry, your hormones, all of that literally is through neurology. And so a lot of people, and you talk to like top neurologists and books like, Again, neuroscientists will describe that literally, like that chiropractic adjustment is allowing the proper messages, the messaging. You can get even further. My husband and my son have a clinic where what they focus on is working with athletes, key performance. When milliseconds matter, what are people doing? What are athletes doing? They're training differently. They're working with chiropractors. So I obviously I'm very passionate about it. And so the wealthiest thing you can do is invest in your health, because it doesn't matter how much money you have if you can't function. And so the wealth principles are the fact that invest now, do things from a health perspective. Remember, I said that I have two parents that are very challenged. I'm a chiropractor. I've been pretty healthy all my life, and obviously well adjusted. But even a year ago, I had to say, what am I doing? What am I eating? How am I making changes? So I literally, even after 34 years as a chiropractor, was asking myself, what else can I do? What can I change, or how can I alter my nutrition? What do I read? So this is what I mean, like, what are you doing now? And so you're exactly right. It's an investment. It's a complete investment to look after yourself. Otherwise, you can't wait until you retire to do those different things that you're talking about.
Well, as I'm thinking here, I'm 34 years in chiropractic also, and it's a constant evolution. It's a constant process. And I boiled it down to a simple process that is, as long as I can make a better choice today,
Right.
I will be healthier tomorrow. So whatever choices you made yesterday, you can't really change it, but you can learn from them to make a better choice today, and ensuring that tomorrow is going to be better than today. And if you do that every single day, you're probably going to get to the outcome that you want. But I wanted to ask you, when you wrote Codes to Longevity, what were the main problem you were solving? What was it that you were trying to accomplish with that book?
We were just bringing a group of practitioners together that all come from different professions. It's co-written, like there's different chapters, and my role was to kind of tie it all together with the money piece. But it's MDs, it's gynecologists, it's a lot of different kinds of practitioners that they wanted to show people, again, some of these simple ideas, simple things they can do and work on so that you do feel empowered. Because otherwise you get to be very disempowered if you're not careful with the fact that, oh, I can't do that, or that's going to be so big. Some of you listening, it might be that you're just not drinking enough water. Like add more water, or change something simple nutritionally. Chiropractically, we say change how you move your body. Movement, motion is lotion. Motion is lotion to the joints. A chiropractor, seek out a chiropractor. Have a chiropractor help you figure out what are the things that you can be doing so that you don't have aches and pains. It's not normal. The world, the culture has tried to convince us that arthritic stuff, inflammatory stuff is normal. Well, what's happening is dementia and Alzheimer's is basically like inflammation of the brain, inflammation and changes neurologically. So the neuroplasticity, you need motion and the movement of all of your joints to basically send the proper messages to your brain. So you're right. It's how do people feel empowered that it's simple. It's simple little things, and the accumulation of it, the difference over the last year, all of a sudden before that I was traveling, there was all the excuses to not move, to not be out. I'm not going to run, I'm not a runner, but like walking, hiking, being here. You guys are going to be here at 7:15 in the morning, but I'll be out hiking. So you'll be interviewing other people, but that's how I start my day now, is with movement and motion. And so keep it really simple. You're right.
I love the simple part. And The best part is this is like a family right here. We connect really well because we understand the principles of what it takes to be better, and we want you to have those opportunities. Whether you've had an adjustment all your life, like Fab and Dr. Hughes, or you've never had an adjustment and you're wondering like, wow, this is wholly new to me. That's a blessing because now you're doing exactly, keeping it simple. And the one thing that I was once reminded of is someone said to me, why do we only bring our special dinnerware and glassware out on Thanksgiving or Christmas or like that? It reminds me of every day is your celebration. Every day is like Christmas. You know, it's a celebration, or your birthday. Celebrate you in a special way. And if you would just kind of end with looking at those simple things that we talked about that can invest back into your life, that can create a happier environment, because we're happy, it's Friday night and you're with us. With you, one of the things that you realized before you were a chiropractor and today, this is not an easy question, what was the thing that changed the most in you, knowing now what you know? If you could tell yourself before you became a chiropractor, what would it be? Because there's people listening right now that may even want to become a chiropractor, and having your wisdom could make them go that one extra step.
Yeah, just live life. So longevity is about like vitality and vibrancy and life. And you know, we spend all of our time young. I spend all of my time thinking about what am I doing for tomorrow, or what do I need to do for next week, or all these other like shoulds and coulds and have tos. And we're meant to be happy. We're just meant to have fun and live a great life. And that has nothing to do with the amount of money you have. You know, it's all about just that choice of being very present, you know, present time consciousness, and live a great life. And it's kind of that whole attractability, you know, like happy people, like bring other happy people, you know, bring resources to them. You know, it's like a magnet, it's an attractability. And so I talk to people about that with money, like keep your money moving. There's principles and there's ways, no matter how much or how little you have, you know, keep your money moving. You know, there's some really, really unhappy, wealthy people. They're really missing out. That's not who I want to be. Yeah. That's not the choices that I want to make.
It's a big part of a Friday night, and I know half of this is, for many of you, the first time you've ever heard how chiropractic works for longevity.
Right.
And vitality. And when we come together and we educate the world becomes a happier place. And you can see these beautiful, happy, smiling faces, and we hope you're smiling too, no matter where in the world you are. We just brought on Ethiopia as one of our ambassadors to our Foundation for Chiropractic Progress, and I can't tell you how happy they are. Do they have the luxuries that we enjoy? They don't. And yet they're happy, and I love that part, and I love that you're with us on a Friday night. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Hughes, sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts, for being here, giving your wisdom to yourself before chiropractic and now. It was so beautiful, and you brought to me that vitality that I had when I first got into chiropractic. How can I change the world? How can we make a difference for the people that we love and care about, the community that we surround ourselves about? And that's what longevity is really about. It's the expertise of you knowing that you can prevent problems in the future by finding someone you can talk to about your whole being care. Who's that? That's why chiropractic is such an amazing piece. We don't have the tools that the surgeons have for a reason. We don't use them. We don't have the prescription pad that the MDs have. We don't use them. We're about bringing longevity and vitality with you as your coach, and that's such a beautiful thing. So this wraps up our last vignette for the evening, but before you go anywhere, I'm excited to update you on our donations. And it's a drum roll, please. We have now made, in the last 3 segments, $12,180 because you opened your pocketbook. So I can't be more grateful. This weekend is just getting started. Our goal is to raise $80,000. And the reason why we're doing that is so people can live a better life, a life of longevity that's happy, prosperous, using the research and bringing it to your community. And if you feel so moved to help others learn more, donate today. the number 4, cp.org/ChiroThon.
And I just want to recap that Dr. Hughes mentioned the word investment, and understand that every donation that you're making, you're not only multiplying it with our great donors, right? So every dollar that you give us is going to turn into $3, and that's something to take advantage of. So we want you to make sure that you understand that you're investing not in us, you're investing in your own health, in your own profession. Whether you're a doctor, a CA, or a patient, this is what I want you to understand. If you don't invest in yourself, how do you expect other people to invest in you? And that's the thing that always kept me from always saying to myself, I need to be the first one to invest in chiropractic if I want others to follow. So I want you to know that we're very excited that you hang in there all afternoon. We've had so much fun with you. Keep writing your comments wherever you're streaming through, whatever the platform is. Keep putting your comments right there. We're going to read them all. We're going to get back to you. And also remember that this weekend, we want you to understand that every time you make a donation, you have a draw to win a 55-inch flat screen TV, right? So we're going to put your name. Every time you donate something, we're going to put your name, and then we're going to raffle that. And additionally, if you're a doctor of chiropractic, if you donate $180 or more, now think about it, $180, what is that? You're going to receive a complimentary 1-year membership to the foundation. So please, for those of you that are chiropractors, look, I know some of you that are watching have been blessed very much like me. I want you to donate more. But if you're just getting started, if you're maybe even a student and you want to invest in your profession, go ahead and make the $180 investment, because that's going to give you a return of a 1 full year complimentary to the foundation. So please make that donation now.
It's such a beautiful thing, and I want to say to you, like, we're working together, and Dr. Fab knows he donated. I mean, that's the beauty of it as a guest and a host, is that you see the value of just giving and giving and giving.
But I think it's important you tell them. We were testing the site, and one of the things is because I believe that we need to be the first one. So I said, I want to make the first donation before we even get the show started. And we had a little glitch, and finally we got it fixed. But I want you to know the reason that I do it is because I always like to lead by example. If I'm asking you to donate something, now I just donated $500 for this time. Now,
which turned into $1,500.
I know, but I want you to know that that was where I wanted to at least serve as an example. But I want you to give whatever is convenient for you. But I want you to know the greatest investment you can make is the continued growth and advancement of this amazing profession we call chiropractic, and the millions of people that have benefited because of what we do every day.
It's taking the small minority that are using chiropractic right now, educating them to be the vast majority that have a coach that can go non-farm, drug-free. They can have the lotion in motion, right? Be able to get their bodies moving. And you heard today from extreme athletes that really depend on chiropractic care. You heard earlier about preventing Alzheimer's. And as we move through today with Dr. Janice Hughes, we understand that our wealth is really dependent on our health, and that vitality comes from your investments on a daily basis. And I'm reminded by this one piece that my mom would always say to me: the fruit does not fall far from the tree. Bring yourself together with the people that you love and adore, that motivate you, that inspire you, and we hope this whole weekend that's exactly what we're going to do. And if you think you got off easy, you didn't. It's Friday night. You're going to be back with us at 7:15 in the morning. Why?
We're going to be
here. We're going to be here with you. 7:15. You can have your coffee, your latte, your tea, whatever drink of choice. She talked about hydration. Hydrate while you're listening to us. But we want you back here at 7:15 because we're going to dive deeper at 7:15 Pacific Standard Time. That's what our next segment is going to be about: the synergy of chiropractic care and yoga.
And I want you to do a favor. I want you to check out the latest commercial from the foundation, which is now airing in the Tennis Channel, ESPN, and CBS Sports. We love you.
My husband and I are able to play pickleball with our grandchildren because of chiropractic care. It has given us the keys to a healthier, more active life. Chiropractic adjustments help us prevent injuries and keep on top of our game so we can enjoy every moment with our grandkids on the court. Visits ease joint pain, enhance flexibility, and even improve balance. Gain more freedom and joy in your daily activities on and off the court. To find a doctor of chiropractic near you, visit f4cp.org/findadoctor.